Hello. So as we had that nice introduction, thank you. So I'm the Deputy Head of the UK Office for Quantum. So when we were last here at QWC, we announced the launch of our National Quantum Strategy and also our opening of the UK Office for Quantum. Today I'm going to give you a bit of an update of what's been happening over 2024 and looking ahead to 2025 and beyond as some of our key priorities. But first, I want to give a quick potted history of the UK National Quantum Technologies Programme. So the programme has just reached its 10th anniversary. When the programme was first launched, the focus was very much on prototyping. Then we moved on to the next phase from 2019 onwards, where we focused on commercialization, so getting those products from lab to shelf. And then most recently, in 2023, we launched our National Quantum Strategy alongside our 5 national quantum missions that I'll talk through briefly. But the big question is, has all our funding, has this program paid off? So we've invested £1.1 billion over the last 10 years. And at the outset of the program, we identified 4 key areas we wanted to focus on. The first being around research, second on innovation, third on infrastructure, and finally on skills. So in terms of that foundational research, we invested approximately 44% of our spend. And how has that turned out? The UK is now third globally in terms of research quality and impact. In terms of innovation, this has commanded a quarter of government spending. And now we have a thriving ecosystem. Our UK ecosystem is second largest in the world and also second biggest in terms of attracting venture capitalist investment. And infrastructure as well. So we needed to make sure we had the right infrastructure in place to grow our ecosystem. So we focused on building our testing and assurance facilities for our National Physical Laboratory and our National Quantum Computing Centre. And finally, on skills. Skills is a global challenge. It's one you'll hear again and again throughout these 2 days. We've been investing in skills through both PhD and apprenticeship programs. And sometimes it helps to be able to bring these to life through some examples. So we have QLM here, a company that focuses on measuring emissions through quantum sensing. We also had our first test flight through Inflection. So they provide resilient quantum PNT systems that can be resilient to when satellites can be knocked out. And finally, a personal favorite of mine, which is Circa. Circa has developed wearable brain scanners. So for those with neurological diseases, being able to understand what's happening within their brains. So we have a number of different goals for a national strategy, but what I do want to focus on is our 5 national missions. Our 5 national missions are ambitious, to say the least. The first of which is by 2035, we want to have UK-based quantum computers capable of undertaking over 1 trillion operations. Our second mission is around by 2035 is to have an expansive quantum network within the UK. By 2030, we will make sure that quantum sensing devices are rolled out across every health service hospital within the UK. By 2030 as well, we want to have those PNT resilient systems within aircraft. And finally, being able to understand our critical national infrastructure, both above and below ground, using quantum sensing solutions. These are all incredibly ambitious, but these targets were developed in coordination with industry. And for us, the whole purpose of a mission is to communicate where the UK government is going to focus its funding and policy attention. But the key message I have for you today is simply, we can't do this alone. The UK doesn't have all the unlimited funding available to develop all the capabilities we need to achieve these goals, which is why it's truly an international effort. So I want to provide a brief snapshot of 2024. What have we been doing over the last year to prepare ourselves to start achieving these missions? So first of all, again, all around skills, we've been investing £100 million in skills programs, so 5 new centres for doctoral training. In addition to that, we've been building the infrastructure we need, so £100 million towards 5 new quantum research hubs. These are based in different locations across the UK, each aligned with a different national mission. We've also started to install the first test beds within our National Quantum Computing Centre, so £30 million towards 7 test beds across multiple modalities. And this very much represents a UK government position of not picking winners at this point in time. We believe the race for quantum computing is very much open, and this is why we've chosen to go with the approach of investing across quantum technology areas. Regulation is another area that's important to the UK. We know we mustn't go too hard or too fast with regulation, but at the same time, we need to learn of some of the warning which happened with the likes of AI. This is why we recently published a report on some of the levers we're going to pull around regulation to start to develop that regulatory framework for the future, for example, by upskilling regulators all across sectors. And the final point is around international collaboration. We've signed a large number of agreements, most recently with Denmark. These agreements provide the foundations for international collaboration. However, these agreements are warm words on very crisp pieces of paper unless we have tangible programs that sit behind them. And this is exactly what we've been working on. So I have a photo here. This is taken from Quantum Korea early in the year, and do recommend that you all go visit. Their fabrication facilities are phenomenal. In addition, their investments they're putting towards quantum key distribution. And I've got some examples here of some of the collaborative projects that are taking place across the globe. Center-to-center programs where we're connecting our research hubs with research hubs across the globe to do collaborative projects. The UK is also leaning into our relationship with the EU and Europe. We've reassociated with Horizon. We're also investing in the Quant Era program as well, so connecting our academics with innovators across EU member states. And we're also undertaking summer schools as well to build that next generation of talent. So I mentioned these research hubs, and I've purposely put the names of the directors on here. The reason is we want you to connect with them. The idea with these research hubs is they bridge the gap between research and application, so we're encouraging industry engagement from across the globe. And looking ahead, I wanted to note the 4 key challenges that I'm personally focusing on. So the first challenge is around nurturing new talent, skills again and again. This is the largest challenge. We can't keep going down a route of poaching talent from other countries. Rather, we need to grow that pool of talent. And what we do know is those who are leaving school today, it will take 10 years for them to enter the quantum ecosystem. So this is why investing in today is important. So we're investing in a task force which will shortly be announcing a mix of levers that we'll be using to start to grow that pool of talent. Second is around open access to infrastructure. So we know that the UK cannot afford all the capabilities we need for our ecosystem to thrive. And this is why we need to make difficult choices on what infrastructure we prioritize. And we also need international collaboration, so more open access to infrastructure across the globe. The third is around regulation and standards. As with regulation, we advocate for a steady approach to the development of standards so that no single country has any malign competitive advantage. And we're working hand in hand with the likes of Korea through JTC3, the main standards setting forum. And the final point I want to make is around capital. At the moment, we very much rely on venture capitalists who have an understanding of deep tech. We need to grow that pool of funding available, and how we're going to do that, one part of the solution is around government procurement. It's about government becoming a customer of quantum technologies. This will be an important path for the future growth of our ecosystem. So the final words I wanted to say is next year is our International Year of Quantum. This is going to be a great year for us, and a great year for us to demonstrate true international collaboration. And again, I want to get away from words on paper through international bilateral agreements into tangible actions, tangible programs. So you'll be seeing a number of different announcements for the UK for the course of 2025. Final point I want to make is ultimately quantum is a team sport. So thank you very much.